Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about EOS because today is June the 2nd of 2018 and EOS's mainnet is launching today in about 9 hours, its ICO having just ended. EOS actually racked in around $4 billion from that ICO. That's the largest ICO in history. And while it was still an ICO, EOS was number 5 here on the CoinMarketCap and was listed as having a market capitalization of around $11 billion, which is very, very impressive indeed. It's up 15% over the last 24 hours. So in today's video, since the mainnet is coming up, the mainnet launch is coming up, we're going to be doing some technical analysis on EOS, and we're also going to be talking about the mainnet launch and what its implications on the future of EOS may be, and on the rest of the market in general. So let's get right into it. The first thing I wanted to go to is a little article here by AMB Crypto. All of the articles that I reference in today's video will be linked in the description down below, in case you'd like to go read them in full. I'm not going to read any of them in full. This article reads, the price of EOS token saw a sharp hike today prior to the mainnet launch. The launch is scheduled for later today, with EOS moving to a new blockchain within hours. And in fact, that's going to be happening in about 9 hours. We'll be talking about that in just a second. While it traded around the $12 mark over the week with occasional drops under support, the token saw a sudden spike in price from $12.50 all the way up to $14.33. This is a price hike of 14.4% in just the span of a couple of hours. And this article was released about an hour before I'm recording this, about 3 hours before you're seeing this. This video is going up 11 a.m. Eastern time. I'm recording this at 9 a.m. Eastern time, just so you guys know what time this is all happening, because this is moving pretty fast. And it's up right around 14.95%. This was up close to 15 or 16% a little while ago. But yeah, EOS has jumped around 15% today, so let's jump over here to the chart and do a little bit of technical analysis on it, shall we? We're here on the hour chart, and this is EOS over BTC. As we can see, EOS had 3 very, very nice hours as it broke here off of this shoulder line of this inverse head and shoulders pattern that it's been in over the last couple of weeks. And it was the last couple of weeks. And as we can see, it's jumped very, very sharply from right here around 165,000 Satoshis all the way up to a high of right around 190,000 Satoshis. It's currently cooling off a little bit, as it should. This vertical line represents the time that the EOS mainnet itself will launch, and I reckon that there's going to be another substantial, perhaps not another 15% move, but I reckon there's going to be another substantial rise in the price action as that happens, and then there's probably going to be a very sharp cool-off period, because EOS, when cryptocurrencies run 15 to 30% in a day, they typically have a cool-off period. We see this pretty common in markets, actually. But I want to talk about this inverse head and shoulders pattern because EOS has, I want to talk about the entire history of EOS, just cover it really quickly, because EOS has had a very interesting chart over its history. It initially ran all the way up here to right around 130,000 Satoshis, and then it cooled off, formed this kind of little cup and handle pattern, and bounced off of 130,000, and then broke out, ran all the way to 245,000 Satoshis. I made a big gain in this. I hope you guys did too, because this was a pretty easy thing to see coming if you know how to do it. Just a tiny bit of technical analysis. This points to the power of technical analysis. We saw this uptrend right here that formed back here, and I knew there was going to be support here, so I bought down here around 60 to 70,000 Satoshis. I sold up here at this resistance. I think I bought back in and sold up here around somewhere, and I made like a 2 or 3x return on that. And that's not bad. EOS did really, really well in 2017. I remember when EOS was down here in like the 10,000 Satoshi level, like 40 cents. Oh man, I feel old, and I haven't even been in crypto for a year yet. I will be next month. But anyway, EOS ran all the way up to 250,000 Satoshis, and after it cooled off a little bit, coming back down here right around where this level of support was. You normally see this in ascending wedge patterns, which is what this was. This is an ascending wedge consolidation pattern, similar to the one we saw in Ethereum in mid-2017. Go check out the Ethereum chart if you're interested in that. But after that, we came down here and got support kind of around here. We got it on 140,000 Satoshis rather than 130, and we formed this inverse head and shoulders pattern, which is a very nice thing to see indeed, because an inverse head and shoulders pattern is a trend reversal pattern. It's a bottoming out pattern, and as we can see, the first shoulder formed over here. We had the head form over here. The right shoulder was a little bit taller than the left shoulder. That's okay. You can have that happen. Someone in the comments tried to tell me that you can't have a head and shoulders pattern with 2 different sized shoulders. Yes, you can. The neckline doesn't have to be flat. It can be tilted a little bit. You don't want it to be tilted too much, or it'll be a little less accurate the more tilted it is. But this is definitely an inverse head and shoulders pattern. And as we can see, we broke very bullish out of it when we got above this neckline. This little rally that we're seeing really started about exactly 1 day before the mainnet launch is actually going to commence. So let's talk about the mainnet launch and when that's going to commence. There's a website launched by EOS, or not launched by EOS, but relating to EOS, called EOScountdown.com. And as we can see, the EOS.io launch will be happening in 8 hours and 49 minutes from when I'm recording this video. The second this video goes up, that will be 7 hours from then. This video will be going up 1 hour and 50 minutes after I'm recording it. So definitely keep an eye out for this. This will be linked in the description down below as well. And like I was saying earlier, I do believe that there's probably going to be a little bit of a spike in price after this goes up. But be careful, because if it does spike up and it spikes up here to like 200,000 Satoshis or something, definitely you can make a gain in that. But as soon as it crosses this line, within a couple of hours, it's probably going to taper off a little bit. It could definitely sustain this level if it doesn't jump again. But if it jumps up here to like 210,000 Satoshis, do expect to have a pretty substantial cool off, probably like a 10% cool off from where it jumps to. If it just hovers right around here and it doesn't have another run, it's probably going to flatten out. That'll be okay. But do be careful with this market, because this is a very volatile market. And after the EOS Mainnet launches and there's a big rally, a lot of the people that are trading this for the EOS Mainnet launch are probably going to dump their bags. Guys, I've seen this happen so many times with hard forks and just all kinds of launches and stuff. Be careful in this market, because there's a lot of ways that you can lose a lot of money. There's also a lot of ways that you can gain a lot of money. I think now is a decent time to buy into EOS for the long term. But if you're just trying to profit in the next 24 hours from when this video goes up, I would be very careful with how you trade this market. If you get like a 10 to 15% return, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I will tell you to think about just taking that and being okay with that gain, because that is a pretty nice gain. 10 to 15% in one day. There are a lot of investments that won't get you 10 to 15% in a year. So don't get overly greedy, and you will definitely be able to make a lot of money here. Well, you will more than likely be able to make a lot of money here in the next couple of hours. Speaking of being careful in this market, I want to reference a little thing that this website actually led me to, EOS Countdown. This says blood in the water down here on r/EOS. If we come over here, it's not on Reddit, but for some reason it was linking to Reddit. This says blood in the water, and this is something you guys definitely need to be careful of. EOS token registration has already closed. You can't register tokens anymore unless there's some other mechanism that I don't know about. But as far as I'm aware, the EOS token registration did close yesterday on June the 1st. So if you see any websites recommending that you put your Ethereum private keys, or you put any private keys into them, don't do it. It's probably a scam. There might be something that I'm missing. If I am, tell me in the comments down below, and I'll post a correction in the pinned comment and in the description. But I'm pretty sure the token registration is straight up closed right now. If your tokens are on an exchange, most of the major exchanges will be registering them for you. And I believe a few of them might even be giving you the airdrops from them. If you haven't done that, hopefully you don't have that much money in EOS, because I'm not sure that you can do it anymore. But this reads, I caution all from the novice to the experienced, have discipline and patience. The attention that EOS will be getting in the next few hours is like blood in the water. The sharks, scammers, are in town. Verify and verify again before you put your private keys anywhere. Guys, private keys are all you need to move cryptocurrency. They are very, very powerful. Do not do anything with them unless you are absolutely sure of what you are doing with them. I've never exported my private keys onto my hard drive from my Exodus wallet, simply because that it's easier to get to them there. If someone comes physically to my computer, they can get into them. Just be very careful with private keys, guys. There are people that have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars because they've been silly with their private keys. People have private keys stored in vaults underground. That's how powerful they are, because they have hundreds of millions of dollars in crypto in a single wallet. They're extremely powerful. I think you guys understand that, though. Let's read this article by Cointelegraph talking about the EOS ICO. I'm just going to read a little bit of this. I'm actually just going to read this first sentence. Block 1's EOS will complete a year-long token crowd sale later today. This went up yesterday, actually. So because the ICO did end yesterday, becoming the largest ICO in history, having raised over $4 billion. And guys, that's what I was talking about earlier on in the video, is that EOS was worth $11 billion as an ICO, because they were releasing like 2 million tokens a day, selling it for Ethereum. That's a big deal. That's a big ICO. That's definitely a record. This website, and I definitely believe that there has not been an ICO larger than that. I don't think there has been. If there has been, tell me in the comments down below. But there's certainly not one that I can think of. I know that there's never been an ICO up here in the top 5 of cryptocurrency, especially before the ICO ended. So that's a big deal for EOS. Now, there is debate on whether or not that's overhyped and whether that's actually proper valuation or whether that's just hype. We'll see. I think Dan Larimer is going to do a good job with the project. I think the project is being handed off, and it's I think the project definitely has potential to be very, very successful. I definitely think that. Let's talk about the ramifications of EOS's mainnet launch on the rest of the market in general, because EOS is up 15% today, and as we can see, it's kind of a sore thumb here in the market. We do have some other double-digit up gains. We do have some other double-digit gains here in the market, but mainly it's just EOS that's doing very well. If we come here in the change in 24 hours, it is most certainly doing the best. Yep, Eternity is the only other one that's in double-digit green. I think this is definitely going to help bring up the market, kelp is going to help drag the market up a little bit in the next couple of days and weeks, because something interesting happened on the Bitcoin chart the other day, or not the other day, excuse me, last night. EOS, oh my gosh, I can't speak today. Bitcoin broke a very important downtrend that we've been under for the last month. This downtrend formed when we hit 10,000 back here in early May. We had a pivot point and a set point, as I like to call them. I don't think anybody else calls those, but I call this the set point, this the pivot point, this the set point of a trend line. And down here, we actually broke bullish out of it. We were under this last night, and now we're under this trend line, which is a pattern I talk about in another video. This is a really interesting pattern. I don't think I've ever seen this pattern. This is like an X pattern. We had a consolidation pattern over here on Bitcoin, and then we broke bearish out of it. And now we're in the inverse of that consolidation pattern with the same two trend lines. Tell me in the comments if you guys know the name of that pattern. That's a very interesting pattern indeed. I've never seen that before. But with EOS bringing a lot more exuberance into the market, and bringing a lot more exuberance into the market, bringing a lot of green price action in a very large cryptocurrency, adding at least $1 billion of valuation in just a couple of hours. It's not like Bitcoin's jumping $1,000 or jumping 15%, but EOS is big enough to make a big mark on the market. So if this mainnet launch goes over well, I definitely think that this could be a very big gain for the market. Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets have been needing desperately, especially over the last month and a half or so, have desperately been needing some really good news. And if the EOS launch can go well, and we can start seeing applications being built on top of EOS and applications that actually let you work with the EOS platform, because there has been a lot of talk about how hard it is to actually use the EOS platform unless you're a hardcore coder. Not a hardcore coder, but if you know how to do a little bit of code. It doesn't exactly have a user interface yet. So if we see applications being designed around that, and we do actually see use cases for EOS being built, I think EOS is definitely going to do very well, and that's going to help bring the market back into the accumulation period of a bull run starting here in the second half of 2018 and leading into 2019. But guys, definitely tell me what you think about EOS in the comments section down below. Tell me if you're excited for the mainnet launch. Tell me if you guys are buying into EOS right now, if you're going to wait, let it cool off, and then buy into a long-term position. That's what I'm doing. I'm not going to sell my gains right now, or not my gains. I'm not going to sell my holding right now because I did get it at a pretty good price for a long-term run. But make sure you guys tell me in the comments down below if you think what I'm saying is right about EOS potentially helping the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency markets kick off an accumulation pattern that will turn into a bull run. I'm very interested to hear your comments on that. I make this channel just so I can read you guys' comments, not just so, because I actually learn a lot when I'm making these videos. Most of my learning in cryptocurrency actually comes from me planning out these videos, so that's another bonus. But I definitely do make these videos because I love reading your comments. That's a big part of it. So make sure you leave those in the comments section down below. If you guys are interested in reading any of these articles that I'm talking about here, all 4 of these will be posted in the description down below. Make sure you go read up on them. Make sure you know what you're doing before you use any of your private keys. Because as far as I'm aware, there's no reason for you to be exporting your Ethereum or your EOS mainnet private keys anymore. So be careful with that. There are people that will try to scam you, so be very careful. But anyway, guys, I'm ranting. I want to thank each and every single one of you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.